Alright, so oh, come on. We started out in the good old M4A3 for Japan. It's one of my favorite lineups, and I showed why I slightly up-tier it to 6.0 because my lineup has the Japanese Tiger H1, which is now 6.0, which is unfortunate, but I guess not unexpected because they did the same thing with the German Tiger H1 and all the Panthers. But I like the lineup that I have. And then I decided I have enough smoke shells, let's switch over to smoke and just lob a bunch of smoke shells off and mess with the enemy team, possibly. So we did that for a little bit. This ended up being a really good battle, and when I hit save at the end of it, goddamn OBS had an error that happened with the rendering of the video, so we lost it. So we'll leave the chat on, because the chat was decent throughout the entire thing here. Unfortunately, I can't show you my entire lineup in the recording of this video, but I can take a screenshot if I remember and overlay it at some point at the beginning. So hopefully I remember to do that. If not, you'll be able to tell based on the vehicles I use, I guess. So we're charging up here ahead a bit, and I decided to go past the normal spot I go and stake up right up here by these houses and try to catch them approaching, because I've got a pretty decent stabilizer on this thing. And I should be able to catch them moving in and, you know, be a little farther forward than they expect with the capture point here in a battle map. I'm gonna... Nah, I'll leave it on, I guess. So mind you, I could see this guy. And then from the angle, just a little bit. Couldn't quite hit him. And then, of course, the reverse is so damn slow that he's able to track me. But luckily, I was able to be completely behind the house here, so he couldn't get a follow-up shot without charging after me, and I would have been able to ambush him behind the house. So, not the worst damage that could have happened. I didn't lose any crew members or anything. I think this was like a 28-second repair, maybe? I don't remember. The actual battle was last night. I was hoping to get it finished, render the thing, and get it on YouTube for tomorrow, as I'm recording this today, but that was ready to go to bed at that point, so when the rendering failed for the export, I just quit and went to bed and was like, yeah, I'll re-record it tomorrow. Disappointing, but... So I can see that tiger up there. I can tell it's obviously a tiger from where I'm looking here. And I'm just waiting at this point. It's like, if he shoots, I've got him. He cannot reverse fast enough. I've got a pretty good angle on him. As soon as he fires, I drive forward and with the stabilizer, get a nice little stabilized shot. Not even close in the replay, but in the live battle, it was a very nice stabilized gun. Nice easy aim right at the upper front plate there and right through it. Right in the dead center where you know the M82 is, or an M82. M62 rather, is going to go right through, or M61, whichever one it is for the Japanese M4A376. So I can hear another enemy vehicle coming through right here. You can see it's right there. I can hear it, the IS-2. And then there he is. He was doing the smart move, driving backwards with his engine in front of him to protect him, but doesn't help you from side shots, thankfully. Thankfully for me. You can also hear the tiger over here. Could identify it as a tiger, but he was far enough behind. Oh, that's what hit me. Okay. I could not tell what hit me at that point, but it was the Centurion Mark 1 right there. Okay. Luckily, he comes around the corner here, and I start calling for help. And thankfully, somebody's going to do me a real big favor in a second. As I'm worried about my artillery hitting here. My biggest fear was the artillery was going to take out the house right in front of me. But thankfully, somebody off to my right there took him out, so... yeah, the M18, that's right. M18 did me a big favor. So you can hear that T-3485E right there, just very, very close by, just 200 meters away from me. I could hear him, I couldn't see him yet. I know he's close. We finished our second repair with the gun barrel. And I decided to move up a little bit so that if that Centurion comes back, he's at least not, hopefully not going to expect me at this first house. And there is the T-3485. I can just barely tell that he's got his turret pointed to the side. Drive forward to get a shot at his turret, and then it doesn't go in, and he counterfires me, which I thought was just a bunch of utter bullcrap that didn't go through the front of his turret weak spot there. So we come back in the aforementioned Tiger, heavy tank number 6, and away we go. So we move up here. There's an ISU-122S that I just saw off to the left. I know something's over there from the battle, but I couldn't actually see it. The T-3485E here, I could see him and tell where he'd been hit by the T-25. And he had gone through and cleared out 2 more of my teammates that were up here in the side. So I don't know what was going on with him exactly. But I could spot this other T-3485 here. And get another bounce shot. Although it damaged his breech enough that he backed away. You'd think an 88mm would be enough here. Just barely not enough on the reload. And then our T-25 goes down. So now I'm backed off facing down with 2 T-3485s up here, plus whatever is off to the left there, which you can see now is an ISU-122S, but I couldn't tell during the actual game. I'm trying to stay angled against both of these guys as well as I can. And then spot the other T-3485, and then I finally do get a spot on him. And we get yet another just total BS shot, which I thought was going to bring the other T-3485 running. But then he misses a shot there, and I'm able to actually move up and get a shot into the top of his roof and deal with that little problem once and for all. And now we were one-on-one with the T-3485, which is pretty much not a guaranteed win for a Tiger, but certainly makes me feel pretty confident in my abilities there. And this guy almost plays it right. He does the peek out, try to bait my shot, peek out, try to bait my shot, and then he just peeks out a little too far. And we're able to put a shot right in there and finish him off. So, not bad. Right now I'm just waiting for more teammates to get up here and join me so we can push forward and do a little threatening of the enemy cap, and that's when I take a hit from an IS-1, which thankfully I was able to drive forward and get away and then mark him. So I marked him a few times here while I'm repairing. Go get him, T-34. I'm marking away like crazy, and then the T-34 does, in fact, bag him. And then we had a little bit more repairing to do on the turret ring. And then we're finally able to start moving. And our friend from the T-3485, who seemed a little fishy, to say the least, is now in a Tu-2S. So I can hear this Tiger. And yeah, a little bit fishy, I'd say. Little bit fishy. So back we go in the M36B2, and here we go again. Alright, so we've got an enemy heavy tank marked over here on the right by our scout, which I believe is an STRV-74, if I remember right. My squad mate off to my left here just gave me a heart attack because I heard him driving up, but then looked over and saw that it was in fact a friendly jumbo. So I can hear this Tiger, I can't tell exactly where he is. Trying to get the drop on him here, and then our friend in the T-34 comes up and doesn't even have to kill him because he has been well and truly dealt with. So we move on, try to move up here and get to another good ambush spot up here parallel with the A point. M4A2 gave me another minor heart attack right here, but could tell very quickly that he was in fact friendly. So I'm going to try and parallel off to his left and give him a little bit of a flanking position, cover his left side. And I can hear a couple enemy engines over here nearby. Can't exactly tell where they are. So I'm basically just going to prop up right here and wait for something to either come through this gap that I'm looking at or the further gap up to the right. And see what we can spot. We've got obviously something marked there. And then there we go. We get a shot on him, shoot the fence down with the machine guns, and then take him out with Heat FS to the ammo. Now you can hear the other engine off to the left here. It's the Panzer 470. I could hear him in the battle too. But I decided to just kind of sit here and wait and see if my teammates come up behind me. The M4A2 unfortunately kind of took off farther to the left. But I was also marking where the enemy engine is that I can hear right here, and I think he was actually reacting to that and flanking around. Watch the delay on these friendly bombs. It might be excessive. Alright, T-34 is moving up. I'm still trying to just sit here quietly and let the, well, it's the Panzer 470. I didn't know what it was, but let it drive up in front of me. Then he takes a hit, and I've got my teammates moving up on him, so I decide to chance moving up here to this corner and get to a slightly better ambush position right here. Also, there was just an enemy tank marked down there, but I believe it had been destroyed. It was a heavy, and now there's a medium marked. So I'm trying to get a look at that. I don't see it up here. Can't quite see it around the heavy. So I realize I'm a little too far ahead and then back off and let the SPG move up here and drive in front of me and take him out. Got somebody shooting our T-34 there. And then the tree gets knocked down here and there's a shot and I realize, yeah, okay, no problem here. He had already fired, drive up, take him out, and then move across and see if I can't pick up the Panther coming here. Which, thankfully, I didn't know he was there. I had actually just fired machine guns to knock the fence down, and he just happened to drive right up as I knocked the fence down, so I just followed it up with a regular Heat FS round. You can definitely hear something close by, and then it gets taken out. So, heavy down. It was an IS-1 by the M4A2, who did a pretty good job, for the most part, working with me here. You can see an IS-1 there, off to the left, or to the right, rather. Moving up just on the other side of the buildings. And I will say the bombs were a little too late, but at least, or they had too much of a delay, but they certainly flipped somebody on their head. So I'm moving up here with the M4A2 to give him a little bit of cover. Pick my next ambush position. Shot's been fired through here. Now I try to bait whatever it is, which is the Panther D, for our, try to bait a shot so he'll move in up and expose for the M4A2. And then I realize I hear an engine coming right here, and I'm calling for help, and this guy drives right up, and my shot does absolutely nothing to him. 90 mil Heat FS just has no effect on an IS-1. Fantastic modeling. And then we restart yet again. And in the replay, it looks like the shot hit the tracks, but in the main game, it very much did not, which, of course, is just... You've only got my word to believe, but it didn't hit the tracks in the main battle, unfortunately. Just didn't do anything. So as you can see at this point, we're getting a bit thin on team, although there's actually a fair amount of air up on our team. So it's not all gone, and a few of the players that are in air will rejoin in tanks shortly, so we're not quite as bad as it looks. It's not just me and that one light tank. We'll have some more tanks. Unfortunately, the light tank, the M24, got killed by the Panther F without managing to scout him. So I saw where he'd been hit, but no scouting, so I'm just going to stay out here on the left parallel as far out as I can and try and drive up and listen for enemy engines. Like this IS-1 here. Now I've got a great chance here, and then for some reason the IS-1 just happens to know exactly where I am, even though he was not looking here whatsoever. So I managed to kill him, which is good. But of course he ruins my chance to, like, get a shot into the Panther by surprise. Although I really just cared that we like took each other out, and it was I got both of them there, so I didn't even mind getting destroyed. So come back at the N1K or N1J, whatever it is, anyway. And now I know that M5339 is there, so I'm basically coming in to hunt for him, and then hope that I can take him out so the rest of our team that's in air support, which is a decent amount of planes, can hopefully hold our few remaining tanks left and help them defend Bravo. So our 109 draws some fire, and I'm trying to come in here and get a good drop on him, but unfortunately, as you'll see, he's just hidden behind buildings and stuff. So I drop both of my bombs here, and all I get is a slight shrapnel hit on his gun casing. Very, very disappointing result there. I'm going to pull way up high, try to spot him, and see if I can't get a strafe in on him while the other enemy or other friendly planes come in. So this is where he was. I don't see him moving behind the buildings, and I don't want him to get a shot at me, so I'm going to drop off and come down behind these trees so he doesn't have a good shot. Now, there is an enemy tank that's been marked on the map, the Heavy, which is a KV-1 or an IS-1. And I'm going to make sure that our friend coming in with a bomb knows about the Heavy. Now, I thought it was the KV-1 that was up closer. It's apparently an IS-1 that moves in on the B point. So I'm circling around trying to like find them, scout them, spot them for our team. Because we have a T1E1. Has a pretty good bomb, but it didn't quite get him here. Again, just the bomb delay was insane. So I'm trying to just mark them for our friendly tanks here. And then stay low enough before I climb up again that I'm not quite as big of a target for that ridiculous SPAA. That you can now see shooting, and I can tell it's coming from behind a building. So I'm going to stay up high, try and spot him, and try and dive on him before he sees me coming. And as you can see, he's ducking back behind the building here. I get a good look at him, and before I get into position where I can get a shot, he's behind the building. And then he doesn't come out in time for me to shoot before I would have crashed into the building. So, extremely bad timing there, unfortunately. So I'm going to build my speed back up, go into a big climb, and try and come in at a high angle and try and spot him so that he doesn't have a chance to get behind the buildings quite as much here. As you can see, he's backtracked all the way far back to the right where I won't be able to see him, unfortunately. Just behind that tree where he's just hidden. Unfortunately, just perfectly hidden there. Just where I couldn't see him, so trying to come in with my engine at idle so that he won't actually be able to hear me coming. And then he did get a few shots at me, but I was luckily far enough away before he detected me that I was able to duck away. And then at this point I decided, alright, I'm going to run back and get new bombs, and I'll tell the 109, hopefully he is carrying a bomb, and have him go get the Heavy, which at this point we still think is the KV-1. Have him go take out the Heavy that's close to B, and I'll go back and land to get new bombs. Now, it turns out it's actually an IS-1 on B, not a KV-1, but all I could tell is that it was a Heavy, and the KV-1 had taken somebody out nearby. So I decide, alright, well, if he's coming in with a bomb, I'll do what I can to draw the fire, or hopefully take out this SPA, which again, you can see now he's moving into position, but I'm looking back down behind the buildings. So he had retreated to a different spot. He was playing it fairly well. So I'm trying to stay up here high so I've got a chance to see him and then react to him and dive away. Looking where he had been, and I can't see him in that stand of trees, unfortunately. So we had a little bit of a duel here. And then I'm going to try and like mark this heavy tank for the 109, but as you'll see, he dropped a pretty good bomb in. He actually takes out the IS-1. Where was it? There it is. Okay, he took out a T-3485 that was on the cap. Because it was a medium on the cap, not the heavy. That's what it was. So there's just the heavy tank KV-1 now. I think an IS-1 might come up later, or I'm just misremembering anyway. I don't know. I'm trying to get some engine damage onto him, and then we end up getting an assist on him as the T1E1 ends up killing him. So that was good. So we're down a bit of members on the team now. The enemy team's not doing terribly well either, as you can see. And we've actually got a decent bit of ground and air contingent. For now, I'm coming in trying to spot enemies. I actually see them shooting here, and then we end up winning. So that was that. As you can see, 9 kills, 1 assist, 4 deaths, not too bad. And then as far as battle results, it was okay. 83,000 and 13,544 RP. Not too bad, all told. Pretty good battle.